Hey guys, it's Alec Torelli, and as you've seen, I've been putting out a lot of content lately on world events, along with my 2 cents on how things are likely to play out. The most recent topic of discussion, of course, has been COVID 19, but I intend to broaden my horizons to other areas. That's why I wanted to make a quick video and share with you how I come to my conclusions and the reasoning behind some of the predictions I've been making, and I believe that I will continue to make going forward. As you may have seen in a recent blog and video titled 9 Things You Need to Know About Coronavirus, published on February 26th, I made several predictions about how COVID 19 would play out. I released this as Case Zero was being diagnosed in Solano County, California, where there were still under 100 cases in the US. Many of the things I predicted have already come true, such as experts believing there are many more cases than are being reported due to a lack of testing, the virus being nearly impossible to contain due to its exponential growth rate, the markets reacting vehemently, and finally, the spread of COVID 19 combined with a recession, which I believe is actually going to be a depression, unfortunately, resulting in the left gaining some political ground. I did the same thing in another post in the poker world called 3 Ways Coronavirus Will Disrupt the Poker Industry and called for lack of demand, market pullbacks, and poker rooms closing outright. All 3 of these happened in less than a month. Now, I'm not saying this to brag, and I'm not Nostradamus, nor am I a researcher or a virologist. So, how was I able to see all of this play out? Well, first, I've made my living for the past 15 years by betting on what other people think and how they will react, especially under pressure or in stressful circumstances. I've done this through a card game called Texas Hold'em, but the skill set of understanding one's psychological and emotional states and how that will influence their behavior, I believe is highly translatable to other areas of life. Now, I'm simply using those skills and applying them on a macro scale, such as how governments and their citizens will react to world events like COVID 19, for example. Second, with respect to COVID specifically, I am currently staying in Italy, which is akin to living in the future. Having the foresight to see what is already transpiring here helps me understand how things are likely to play out elsewhere. For those wondering, I've been living in self-isolation for more than a month. Third, I dive deep into things before coming out with these posts and videos. For example, I've spent nearly every productive hour on COVID 19 for the past 6 weeks. Now, that doesn't make me an expert, but I do diligently read what they are saying. As a result, my opinions are based on the medical consensus of what people like Mark Lipsitch, Scott Gottlieb, Nicholas Christakis, I hope I'm saying that right, and others are saying. You could follow me on Twitter at Alec Torelli as I curate the best of what I read and share there. The same could be said about my recent passion project of understanding global macro trends and cycles, which begun in 2013, took a hiatus for a while, and has now been an ongoing project for over a year. My ideas are my own, but they wouldn't be possible without insights from experts like Ray Dalio, Raoul Paul, Harry Dent, Rick Rule, Peter Schiff, Mike Maloney, and many, many more. This is my process for nearly every subject I tackle. I find the people who I believe know what they're talking about. I listen to opinions on all sides and then formulate my own ideas. It's what helped me to reach the top of the poker world, as this was my same process. Finally, everyone has their own unique superpower. I believe mine to be the ability to quickly put the pieces together and understand the big picture. I then do my best to make it simple for others to grasp as well. I tell you all of this because I want to be fully transparent about how I come to conclusions and come up with these ideas so you could understand them for what they are and you can give them the credence that you feel they deserve. Ultimately, you'll bet on what you believe to be true. Nothing I say in these videos or predictions is meant to be financial advice. I encourage you to do your own research and read through the sources I share in my articles and my blogs and videos, and most importantly, think for yourself. I disagree with many of the people whom I respect the most on certain things, and the confidence that I've had to bet on my own convictions has largely served me well in life. Of course, when it crosses that fine line to arrogance, which it has many times, I've paid the price, and I likely will again in the future. Therefore, I ask you to formulate your own ideas, encourage you to pick apart mine with constructive criticism. Personally, I love being wrong because I view it as an opportunity for growth and to learn something new. I'm not certain of anything that I say, except that some of it will inevitably not play out in the way in which I believe it will. I will happily admit when I'm incorrect, and should I bet on my hypotheses, which I do often, I fully expect to get punished for it. To me, that is part of the game, and I love the journey honestly more than the outcome. I view winning in life the same way I do in poker, and it's a result of doing one's job correctly. One's goal should be to make good decisions with the incomplete information they have available to them. Those who do so consistently and over time will come out ahead. That's what I'm striving to do on a macro level here. I'm just beginning my journey, and if poker has taught me one thing, it's that the game is far more complex than it seems on the surface. I am fully aware that the things I don't know far exceed the things I do know, and that it will be that way until I pass. Therefore, please take what I say with 2 grains of salt. If this resonates with you and you'd like to hear more about my ideas, I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on that notification bell to stay tuned when future content becomes available. Finally, I have an awesome blog where I link out to every source that I mention and the content that's not featured here, which you can always find at alectorelli.com. I only email my list once per week in a curated newsletter called Crush Mondays. It features an insiders only update into what I'm up to, the best content that I've absorbed from the week, new things I've learned, actionable life hacks, all bundled into one place. I throw in a poker tip or 2 here and there as well. Head over there now and jump on my mailing list. It's absolutely free. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in a future video. Cheers.